I took my power back at 45. I didn't have a choice because after surviving 18 years with a narcissist, I just realized it was time. I took my power back. At the age of 45. I mean, I'm 48 right now. I'm no longer 45. But I made the decision at the age of 45 that I wasn't going to celebrate my 46th birthday like this, living like the way I was living. So the thing is, for years, I lived in silence. Do you know when you live with a narcissist, they don't value your opinion. They don't value whatever that comes out of your mouth. They don't want to hear. I mean, if they could do this, they would do it. I'm sure one day they did that though. They did this. And then I was wondering, what is going on? I'm not talking to a child. Yeah. So I also lived in silence because I just realized that every time I opened my mouth to talk, they just didn't want to have nothing to do with what I was saying. And if they engaged with what I was saying, it ended up being my fault. And having to feel so bad by having opened your mouth, said something that probably wasn't meant to be said. And because, a narcissist thrives on chaos and fights. And because they're after supply, right? They want their narcissistic supply. So if you open your mouth, they'll be like, yeah, they can see the promise of the supply coming. So they make sure that they trigger you and you fight or you have a disagreement and there's conflict. And by so doing, they get their supply. So I just didn't enjoy the environment where every time when you try to speak, you are silenced. And that is emotionally damaging because at the end of the day, instead of brain processing stuff, you are just met with a block. And I'm like, this is damaging. I don't know how much damage it was doing to me at that moment or in those years. But later down the years or further down the years, I started noticing that my memory was being affected. And I was wondering, is it an age thing? Or what is going on? I just could not understand what was going on at that time. So yeah, I just stayed in silence because so as to keep the environment nice and quiet for the kids as well. And you just have to stay small because a narcissist thinks they are superior. They feel like they are superior beings. Therefore, you have to play small to please them. If they say something, you have to oh yeah. I mean, they thrive on attention, admiration, and making you feel so small. So I was actually dancing to their tune, but they didn't know what was coming. They didn't know what was coming because somewhere along the way I realized that living in survival mode isn't actually what I wanted or what was good for the family. I mean, my children and me as well. I realized that I mean, survival mode, nothing grows in survival mode. You're just surviving each moment, each day, each year. And I'm thinking, for how long? How long am I going to just surviving? So I realized that no, my children, because I've got 2 children, right? They deserved more. They deserved better. They they'd never experienced a calm environment. They'd never seen, like enjoyed a warm environment where adults are working in harmony, are planning, are doing things, nourishing the family. So I was like, nah, even me, I deserved better. Even me, I was like, this isn't the vision of my life. This isn't the image that I had, that if I got married, I would be living like this. I mean, things change, that much I know, but deep within me, I wasn't fulfilled. I felt there was more. So I deserved better. I deserved more out of life instead of living the way I was living. I mean, the thing is, when you meet a narcissist, they're not written on their forehead. I mean, if they did, you'd be like, stay away. And the other thing is, I didn't know what narcissism was. I didn't know. I didn't understand why my situation was the way it was. I tried to find solutions. I mean, if you go to church, different churches. I went to a Pentecostal church. That was like my first time like going to a church on a like full-time basis. This was like how long was that? It was probably, let's have a look. It was 5 years. 5 years into the union, and I was like, okay, maybe this will help us out. We need it. We did it because I needed to find a solution. Because I was the one person who believed that once you are in a marriage relationship, it's for life. If there's any challenges, you have to tackle them head on. If there's any issues, they are there to be resolved. I didn't know that there's people who are narcissists who just don't have empathy, who just don't care about other human beings. All they care about is you giving them narcissistic supply. So I was like, the only way I could do this was by fleeing, because there's no way we could have sat down and spoke about separating amicably, because it just didn't matter what it was that I'd opened my mouth to speak about. I was silenced, I was ignored, I was invalidated. I mean, they would walk out of that door while you're trying to have a conversation with them, or they'll pull the covers on their face and pretend to be going to sleep. I mean, they could be next to me in bed, and you think you're gonna have like a chat before everyone retires for, I mean, sleeps. Like a lullaby kind of conversation. But before you know it, they've got earphones stuck in their ears, and then how can you know when that kind of a thing is done in the dark? So in the dark, like when you turn the lights off. Yeah, so I never got anything through. And then it'll be like constant asking, what is going on? And then you sort of like want to feel them. And then you catch some wires and you're wondering, oh my God, or maybe you hear them laughing. And then you're like, what have I said? This isn't a laughing matter. So why are they laughing? Yeah, only to realize that they were listening to something completely different. They don't care. They just didn't care about me, care about my children. Yeah, so although it was heartbreaking when I fled, but I was determined. I was determined to change the trajectory of my life and of my children's lives, because honestly, who wants to live like that? When I left, I didn't have a plan. I just wanted to go into a safe space, because I knew that once you are safe, you can start You can start devising a plan. You can start getting support, getting help to start again. I mean, I didn't have nothing figured out. All I had in my mind was like, once I can be in a safe safe environment. What's going on here? Let me have a drink of water. I'm sorry. Have a sip of water as well. Cheers. Okay. Right. So I knew that if I stayed longer, I was going to lose myself completely. I was going to end up maybe in a mental institution because I was that far gone. And at that time, I just lost my dad. And he was like, the person was very close to me. I've got, yeah, just let's put it that way. So now, the silence that used to scare me, with the narcissist, when they would stonewall me, and I mean, when you couldn't get anything said, now my nose is itchy. What is going on today? It became my sanctuary. I was like, I kind of like this. It's now peace and quiet. And I could think the fear that used to paralyze me. If you know anything about fear, it's paralyzing. It damages your brain. It became my fuel. I was like, I'm going to do this afraid. We're going to leave this place, even if I'm afraid. And we did. We did with my kids. And piece by piece, I started rebuilding piece by piece. Because, when you move with just 2 suitcases, I started finding myself again. But it's not like instant. It's not like that. It's takes a while. It takes a while because once you are in a safe environment, your brain now can process that, oh, okay, we are safe now. So you start processing emotions that were just like being pushed to the back burner. Now they're coming to the forefront. You're like, oh, okay, I recognize you. Oh, is that what it meant? Yeah, when I fled, I decided that the woman he wanted me to be, no, I wasn't going to be that person. The person who's silent, the person who's got no rights, who's got no life, the person who's got no future, no ambition. What kind of a life is that? I mean, hear me out. I was born in Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is a country in Africa, Southern Africa. Yeah. So right now I'm in the Northern Hemisphere, Western Europe. Right. UK? Okay. Just in case you didn't know. So Zimbabwe and where I am are meant to be worlds apart, okay? Not just by distance, but economically. So when I came here, I thought my partner, when we met together, we were all ambitious. We were all driven to achieve, to do better with our lives, given the environment we found ourselves in. But a narcissist doesn't want you to have none of that. No future, no life, no plan, isolated from everyone, blamed for everything. And then I was like, this kind of a woman you want me to be? I spoke about church earlier. There's a Bible verse Oh, if I could get, yeah. I think it's Ephesians 5, something. You can put it in the comment section, okay? But it's about women submitting to their husbands. So I told you about going to church before. I remember them hammering hard that scripture. And then I was wondering, okay, so this is how women are supposed to behave at home with their partners. But then at the same time, I was like, oh, how are men supposed to behave? Because it can't just be about women submitting to your husband. Let your husband make decisions. What if they're not there? I mean, people get sick. What if they're in the hospital? What are you going to do when they're not there? Do you see what I mean? I mean, I'm just thinking about a worst case scenario. But yeah, I was like, I'm not going to be the woman that you wanted me to be. No, I'm going to be the woman I always wanted to be. The woman who was ambitious, driven. I wanted my kids to experience a life that I didn't experience. So those were like worlds apart, right? The woman you wanted me to be and the woman I've always wanted to be. So I decided, no, I'm going to take my power back right now. I was 45 at the time. I was like, yeah, this is it. I'm not going to get to my 46th birthday living like this, in this environment with my kids, and at the risk of losing myself. For what? This person, I met them when I was an adult. So we can always do that. So here's the thing. If you're wondering if it's too late for you, if you're thinking you've wasted too much time, I thought I did. I thought I was like, oh my God, all this time, how can I reclaim it, to recover it? I was like, that path is not going to lead you anyway. Yeah, I'm here to tell you, you haven't. You have not. You have not wasted your time. You're actually on time. It's never too late to choose yourself. It's never too late to save your life. Because here's the thing, nobody's coming. I mean, if nobody's coming to save you, I mean, you can watch me talking to you right now, but the decision is on you. Okay? The decision to move yourself out of this dreadful experience is on you. If I could write a letter, I'll end with this, okay? If I could write a letter to myself, this is in closing, right? I mean, we are done. We are done. Yeah, if I could write a letter to the woman I was, if I could speak to the woman I used to be, this is what I would say, okay? Wait. I would tell you this. Yeah, I'll tell you this. You are not crazy. How many times have you heard that? You are not weak. How many times did you think you were weak? You are not the problem. No, you're not the problem. You are just tired of pretending. You are tired of shrinkage. You are tired of surviving on crumbs and calling it love. And one day, you pack, I had 2 suitcases, right? You pack 2 suitcases, you gather your babies, my children, in your arms. Well, my one could walk. Yeah, because one was like a teenager and another one was still like 8 at the time. Yeah. And you walk out of that door. Not that one exactly, but you know what I mean. We walk out of the front door. And you don't look back. Don't. No contact with the narcissist, because how else are you gonna have that headspace to process, to heal. Yeah, so don't look back. Remember what the Bible says about Lot's wife. She looked back and she became a pillar of salt. We don't want you to become a pillar of salt. Man or woman, by the way. Okay, the other thing that I would tell myself is you cry. You doubt yourself. Because that's how your life has been. Doubting yourself because of being gaslit. You also rise. You also rise from the ashes. You rebuild. Which is what I'm doing right now. I am rebuilding. And you will never forget how powerful you really are. My face is a bit funny today. I don't know what's going on. No, that's not part of what I would tell myself. I'm just mentioning that as I'm speaking to you. Right. I'll just have a sip. So to every woman who thinks it's too late, it's not. You don't know how long you're going to live, though. So how do you know that it's too late? You are not too old. Age is just a number. Age is just a number. I mean, look how long it takes for a year to go past January to December. You're like, before you know it, Santa was at the door, and then now we are in April. What's happened? Yeah, you are right on time. Right on time. Right on time. Right. Okay. So there you have it. I took my power back at the age of 45, and I've never looked back, and I am forever grateful for people who inspired me to save myself from that dreadful experience. So if you've been encouraged by this video, if you've been inspired to also take your power back, I would love to know what age you are and when you are gonna do it. I mean, whatever is safe for you to share in the comment section, please do so. It will be nice to engage with you. And with that said, I love you. From my heart to your heart. I love you so much. All right, and you take care. Bye-bye.